back. It's a new season, 2025. Yeah.
Tell the truth.
That's right. What's up, everybody? This is the Information Man. We're back for a new season. I'm very excited about it. We're talking about the 2025 football college season. See you, everybody. See you. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the program. Let's get this started to get myself on the board here. Thank you for your patience. We're live. I said I was going to do a live stream, post-game stream. I wasn't able to do it last night, but I had a chance to watch the game last night. I even watched it again this morning on the replay to kind of analyze a few things and understand what happened in that game, what went wrong, what went right. And at the end of the day, this is a game that, unfortunately, CU, they let it get away from them. They were more than capable to beat Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech wasn't a world beater in any means in this game. That there were people that thought that Georgia Tech would come in and do some damage to CU. But CU in the beginning of the game defensively, as you all watched, they were able to rattle Georgia Tech. They were able to get under the skin of Haynes. I think King is his name, their quarterback King, who, to me, he was a one-man show. And 3 turnovers in the game. And when you get 3 turnovers in a ball game like this, you're almost guaranteed to win the game. There's no reason for you to lose the game. And even Coach Prime talked about this. 3 turnovers. They allowed this team to get over 400-some yards rushing. And this is not a recipe to win. There's a lot to be learned from this game, because there's some guys on this team, on CU's ball team, on their club, that I think are standouts and are only going to get better as the season goes about. So they have talent on this team. You can clearly see it. I think, yes, they don't have Travis Hunter anymore. Yes, they don't have Shador anymore and Jimmy Horn, those types. But there are clearly talent on this team. Now, I looked at the receiving core, and they got some guys that got some size on this team in the receiving core. I think that's the bread and butter. And they were having problems with getting their offense going. It became a little stagnated at times. And, of course, Cordell Salter is going to have to get used to playing in big D, big power football. I mean, he played at Liberty, but he didn't play at the kind of level of competition that he's going to be dealing with in the Big 12. You could tell that he was trying to get himself acclimated, trying to get comfortable. And as the game went on, Salter did get more and more comfortable. And one of the areas that I think he needs to do more, because when I look at the quarterback for Georgia Tech, the thing I didn't like is that he was running the ball. And even Coach Prime said that he's going to need Salter to run the ball a little bit more. I think if Salter would have used his legs a little bit more last night in certain situations, they probably could have won this game despite giving up 400-something yards rushing and not capitalizing, as Coach Prime said, on the turnovers. Let me go up here. This is a comprehensive show. Y'all know how I get down over here. I give you the numbers. I give you the fact. We don't do clickbait on this channel. We don't make up stuff out of thin, whole cloth. We talk about things that are factual. We talk about football in a factual way on this channel. But let's give you some receipts as it relates to the stats in this game with CU taking on Georgia Tech. And like I said, they came out fired up, everybody. They came up pumped up. You could see it. The energy was electric on the field. And it's obvious that they came to play because they caused a lot of problems for Georgia Tech in the early going. But let's look at the stat line right here. So as I said before, to be exact, everybody, Georgia got 463 yards rushing. Total yards. 464 yards, total yards, to CU's 305 yards. I think that's what Coach Prime was addressing, that you can't win football games consistently when you give up those type of numbers. And one of the things that the team struggled with for the last couple of years was stopping the run. And in this game, it wasn't the running back that did the damage to us, but it was their quarterback, King, who did the most damage to us on the ground. And I think every team has this problem, everybody, where you struggle with mobile quarterbacks. And CU has shown in seasons past that they do struggle with quarterbacks that are mobile. They're going to have to clean all that up as the defense gels together. They've got some size on this team. I think more size than they had the last 3 years. Let's not sleep on the offensive line. The offensive line is bigger, and I heard people, TV analysts, saying that they felt that CU's offensive line really, they felt that because of their size and their strength, that they were very oriented to opening up the holes for the run. Everybody was concerned about could they open up the holes, and we saw Michael Welsh and the whole bunch of them. Michael Welsh, who I'm going to talk about tonight, we witnessed Michael Welsh do some things, showed his great potential. Another young man, a newcomer that I'm really excited about, everybody, who has the speed, and we know that speed will kill. Alicia, welcome here. Everybody that's in the chat room, welcome here. We know that speed kills. Is this young man right here, Taylor, who you see on the screen. Taylor did some things last night that I felt like, hey, you know what? This looks good for the future. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Salter, as the game went on, as I said before, as he got more comfortable, there were times where he ran the ball when needed. He ran when they got the touchdown, he ran it in. That was necessary. That was his dual threat. As I said in the first video I did, he gives us a dual threat, but he's a guy that can eat up some chunk of yards. Shador was able to move around, but I think Salter is a little bit more athletic in that department. And he said last night, as Coach Prime was saying that, I want him maybe to run the ball a little bit more because he doesn't have to prove to us that he can throw the ball because, as Coach Prime said, we know he could throw the ball. But Salter, made it clear that he was focusing on his looking down the field, narrowing and looking at the prospects of receivers that he has and getting the ball in their hand. He was not trying to just be a run-first quarterback. And that could pay you some dividends as this season goes down the line. But you can see Coach Prime there encouraging him, keeping his confidence up. And let's go back to this chart again, everybody. Okay, so 3 turnovers. They caused Georgia Tech to have 3 turnovers. That's a good thing. That shows that the defense was active last night, but the offense could not cash in. I'm going to make this prediction. If CU would have been able to make 1 touchdown last night off of the 3 turnovers, I think they would have won this game. If they just could have generated at least 1 to 2 touchdowns, but just 1 touchdown, given how the game was kind of tucked and pulled throughout the game last night, that they could have pulled this out if they could have been able to just put 1 more touchdown on the board. And that's where you've got to take advantage when you get a team in your own on your own field. The crowd is roaring. The crowd is going crazy. The crowd is out there like this, okay? And you've got to pay the dividends by saying, let's execute. Okay. There was even, I saw some good things last night, even when things at times were stagnated, where they couldn't get the offense generating like they would like. But I saw some potential stuff, and that's meaning the running game. Coach Prime said he wants to get the running game off the ground, and they've got to, because they cannot afford to let a team rack up 463 yards total offense. Now, this is another problem another concern that I have that you see on this stat board right here to the left of me. 27 first downs for Georgia Tech last night to CU's only 19. That's not good. So because that allows them to have more time of possession, to control the clock. They were getting first downs, which means they were moving. And the reason why they were moving the chains, because their quarterback, King, could do no wrong last night with using his feet to make up for the fact that he wasn't destroying them on the air. Their quarterback last night, this guy King, he did not do his damage against CU in the air. Haynes King, number 10, he went 13 for 20, 143 yards passing, okay, 1 interception for an average of 7.2. Yes, he got 143 yards passing the ball, but really their receiving core did not do the most damage to us. Haynes rushed for 156 yards. That's what did damage to us last night, because off of 156 yards, he got 3 touchdowns, okay? Then he rushed for an overall 65. I think his running back, the running back for Georgia Tech, number 1, Jamal Haynes, he got 16 carries for about 65 yards, but really didn't do much damage to us. King did the damage because he got his longest run for 45 yards. I think that's the one where he either got the touchdown or he set it up for them at the goal line. This is the thing. If they could have neutralized King last night, because he clearly did not do his most damage to us in the air. Let's put this stat up right here. This is his receivers. Okay. Stockton, number 7, got 48 yards receiving for the longest catch for 23 yards. Okay. Jamal Haynes had about 27 yards in terms of receiving. Stockton, let me correct something that I just said. Stockton got 48 yards in terms of receiving. So overall, they didn't destroy us with their receiving game. None of their receivers got a touchdown whatsoever. Most of the touchdowns in this case were generated by King, and King only. And so had they been able to contain this young man last night, they could have done a lot of damage to Georgia Tech in terms of down the stretch winning this game. If they just could have neutralized his legs, that would have made a world of difference. And so CU is going to have to continue to shore up their run defense. It has been their Achilles heel for the last couple of years now. Let's put this chart back up. Penalties, 8 for 65. CU was 5 for 45. Not as bad as Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech had times where they were getting penalties. Their offensive line was not all on the same page, right? With delay of game penalties and things of that nature. Third downs, they went 6 of 11 with third downs. CU went 5 of 13 with third downs. Fourth down, getting fourth downs. Conversions was 1-1. They were tied there. And then this was the difference right here, which goes back to when you run the ball, you're controlling time of possession. Because their quarterback, unfortunately, was able to run the ball. As you see him right there getting a touchdown, I think that's the touchdown he got on the longest run that he was able to get last night. Because they were able to run the ball, then quite obviously they controlled the time of possession. Well, Georgia Tech had 32 minutes and 23 seconds of time of possession, whereas CU had about 27 minutes and 37 seconds. So you see, that made the difference. Football is a game of inches. It's a game of controlling the clock. It's a game of possessions. And when you control more possessions and you make more things happen, that's how you can squeeze out a very close game, or you could beat a team by 2-3 points. The bottom line is CU didn't get blown out in this game. They didn't get thrashed in this game. They were very much in this game, even when Georgia Tech got back into the game and got that field goal kick in halftime, right? And then they went in at halftime, what was it, 13-10, somewhere in there. And then CU was able to, with the help of Salter doing his thing last night, they were able to get back into the game and tie it up 20-20. And then Georgia Tech was able to pull it out with the 27-20. So very much, despite all the mistakes last night when it came to not capitalizing on turnovers, CU was still able to make it a game last night and make it where they could have very well come back and won this game. So let's take that off the board. Let's look at the numbers again with some of the talent that was out there last night. Once again, let's do the comparison. So King, their quarterback for Georgia Tech, once again threw for 143 yards. I think Salter did a good job in his debut in playing big power football coming from Liberty. He put up 159 yards. Okay, he went 17 for 28, 1 touchdown. Okay, right here, rushing. You don't want a quarterback, like I said, to be the lead rusher against beating you. But King was able to do that last night. 19 carries for 3 touchdowns. That's where you draw the line. You say this cannot happen anymore, okay? Then we had Michael Welsh, who went out there and showed out when he got opportunities, everybody. Michael Welsh, we got to be honest about him. I've been saying that I think this young man can do it all. He can go inside. He can go outside. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. I said it and said it so many times on this channel the last 2 years since they've had the young man, that he's dual threat in the way that he can go inside. He's 5'9". He's compact. He's strong. He's thick in the thighs, like an Earl Campbell type back. He can go inside, outside, get more. They've got to give him more carries. They got to give all these running backs, Taylor, more carries, Price more carries. I saw something last night, even when there were times when they got away from the run. I kept saying, go back to the run. If CU would have stayed with the run a little bit more last night, they could have controlled time of possession. They could have masterfully got themselves back into this game in a way that they could have negated Georgia Tech, even though their quarterback was running all over the damn place last night. They could have negated what he was doing if they would have controlled the ball a little bit more, with running the ball a little bit more with Price and Taylor. Taylor showed me last night that he can catch the ball out of the backfield, just like this young man right here, Michael Welsh. Taylor showed me last night that he's a threat. They need to line him up in the slot. They need to get him in space. Get him in bubble screens. Get him in screenplays. Get the ball in his hand in space, because last night when he got the ball in space, he showed you that he could do some damages. What's going on, everybody in the chat room? I appreciate you being here. He showed that he could definitely can do some damages when given opportunity. They've got to get him the ball. I'm going to keep saying this and saying this. On the chart again, Omarion Miller. I told you all a year ago, he got hurt. He rehabilitated himself. He's back. I told you to beware and to watch out for Omarion Miller. Now, he didn't get a lot of catches last night. They've got to get the ball in his hand more. But the one catch he got last night was the deep ball by Salter, a great pass by Salter when he caught that ball deep down the field, right off the sideline, pulled the ball in, kept 2 feet in bounds, got the feet in bounds, just like a professional football receiver would do, okay? And Omarion Miller, who I'm going to put right up here, showed you what he was made of last night. Omarion Miller had only 1 reception last night. I think he should have had more. They should have figured out ways to get him involved in more packages. But he got a big catch for 39 yards, no touchdowns, But that was a big catch that kept the momentum on Colorado's side when things were slipping away with Georgia doing what they were doing. Again, let me give you, let's go back to Taylor. The young man I think he was dynamic in the opportunities that he had. He had 3 receptions. I said, get him the ball in space. 3 receptions for 38 yards, right, with an average of 12.7. 1 TD. Taylor, you got to get the ball to him. Longest catch was 21 yards last night. Then you got the man who came over from Florida State as a transfer, Hakeem Williams, who's got size. Get him involved, damn it. Hakeem, number 5, last night took down 2 catches for 20 yards. Get these guys involved. Then you got the new tight end. I told y'all in the last video, he's a vertical threat. He's a receiving tight end that can stretch the field. He got a play last night, 2 catches for 18 yards. And then, of course, the guy that's a fan favorite, a guy who's a swift Army knife, a guy that I said him and Amarion Miller are going to be the Miller brothers, and I still stick to that right now. He got 2 catches for 13 yards, longest catch for 16 yards last night. You got to get them more involved in this. What they showed me last night with just a small sample size is that they're capable, but you got to get the ball back. Salter is going to have to get the ball back to them. The offensive line is going to have to give them more protection, give them more time. Salters is going to have to get that ball deep down the field. He said last night he was focusing on getting the ball down the field when he had opportunities. Coach Prime said, well, I want the young man to maybe run the ball a little bit more. I'm repeating what I said in the beginning of this video because I want to emphasize that that's really, he's a dual threat. And if he would have used his legs just a little bit more too, we could have seen a different outcome possibly last night. Coach Prime, he's always respectful to other coaches. He said, I got the press clippings for you that I'm going to play today. I'm going to play tonight the press clippings from Salter and Jordan Seaton. I like Jordan Seaton. He's the leader of this team, leader on that offensive line. I think people are asking the question, is the offensive line capable of opening up holes? And I say to you, from what I saw last night, they are capable, but the coaching staff has got to be dedicated to running the ball more than ever. Give these big guys an opportunity. You got Xavier Hill at the left guard, right? You got McGill at the center, right? I believe he played center last night. You got Larry Johnson. You got some beef on this offensive line at right tackle. You got Chrysler. Give these young guys opportunity to maul people over with their size and strength. Don't get away from the running game. CU, again, you cannot afford to get away from the running game. The running game will open up everything else for Salter. Imagine if you get that running game, getting it to its highest level. Now what will happen is that teams cannot tee off on CU anymore because now they'll have to be concerned about the running backs coming out of that backfield as well as Salter's feet to move around. So it puts pressure on the defense wondering, okay, who do we stop? If we're going to stop Michael Welsh, are we going to stop Taylor? Then you got Price. And Hayden didn't play in this game because Hayden is hurt. So when they get Hayden back, that gives them another combination to work with. Okay, let me go over here. I want to go over to some other stats here because this game was something else last night. Let's go up with these stats right here. Once again, the team leaders for CU last night was Salter with 159 yards throwing the ball, yards, not receiving. Rushing yards, 64 yards for Micah Welsh. Michael Welsh needs more carries in this. That won't get it. You need more. Amarion Miller with the biggest catch last night for 39 yards. They got to get the ball in his hand more. Defensively, Hughes was incredible. Reginald Hughes was incredible last night with 11 tackles. Then you had DJ McKinney with 1 interception last night. Now, he's one of the top defensive backs in the country. I think he ranks number 29 or 20 on the rankings of defensive backs in the country. He's a pro prospect. He got 1 interception last night. But let's see, what did he do defensively? DJ McKinney got 4 tackles last night. Overall, 3 solo tackles. But that 1 interception that was one of the 3 turnovers that really turned the tide, that if they had to capitalize on those turnovers with getting a touchdown, God knows what could have happened. Let's put the man up here right now, Reginald Hughes, who I'm very impressed with.
Tell the truth.
Okay, Reginald Hughes last night, number 50. This man went out there and he got 11 total tackles, 9 solo tackles, and he did what he had to do. Another guy, number 49, who got a sack last night. I think he plays on that defensive line. Quincy Wiggins came out. Remember, Quincy Wiggins is a young man who transferred over. He's got some eligibility on him. Transferred over from LSU. He came in and got 2 tackles, 2 solo tackles for a total of 2, obviously, and 1 sack last night on King. I think that was a good thing. They're going to have to keep working on that. Keep working on it. Keep working on it. Okay, let it do what it's going to do. Let me talk about a young man who came over in the transfer portal. This young man right here, Latavius French. French came out and he was the second leading tackle on the for tackles on defense last night. He got 6 total tackles, 5 solos. He got He got 1.5 in a forced. I think he was involved in forcing a fumble out of the quarterback exchange with King last night, which I thought was fantastic. All right. Peace and respect to everybody in the chat room. I'm not going to address any trolls tonight who have negative things to say, because this is just the first game of the season. They're going to learn from this game last night. That's only going to make them better as a football team. Even the guys that were commentating for ESPN last night said that despite the fact that CU lost that game and that they had some struggles with the offense getting in the sync, they noticed that the CU seemed like a different team last night. They seemed more physical than the teams in the past, even though Coach Prime said that they weren't physical enough last night to beat Georgia Tech. The commentary said that they seemed more physical than the last couple of teams from the years past. They seemed bigger in the trenches of their offensive line, maybe even their defensive line. And they seem like a team that can probably this year get some running game off the ground. But the problem is you got to stick to it. You got to be dedicated to running the ball, Coach Prime, because it's very difficult when you don't run the ball consistently, and now it puts more pressure on your quarterback, and you don't need that, Coach Prime, everybody. What I want to do right now is let's play the press conference of Coach Prime, telling it like it is last night, being honest, being forthright about how he felt about the situation last night. Let's listen to Coach Prime right now, everybody. Make sure you share this video on all your social media. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. Thank you for coming over. This is what we do over here. I'm happy that the season has started because I'm going to be doing these videos, going live, doing post-game videos, doing pre-game analysis. Now, I'll be doing a pre-game analysis on the next opponent. But I thank you all for being here. Let's get to it right now. Let's hear what Coach Prime is saying.
Got to be more explosive, more definitive, more decisive with what we're doing with the ball on offense. Defensively, we gave up 463 yards. of total offense. They ran for 320 yards. You're not going to win with those statistics.
Just what I said earlier. Coach Prime confirmed what I said. You cannot win when you give up 463 total yards of offense to a team that you should have beaten and a team that you pretty much flustered them in the early going of the game. Let's continue.
Tried many things. We tried blitzing, trying to fill every gap, but we couldn't get the job done. They were much more physical than we were. They were much more aggressive at times. We made some plays that we should have capitalized off. Some of the plays we made, but that first half we didn't.
Turnovers.
And now we're playing catch up statically, and it's not like we were tricked, we were fooled.
So this is the problem that they were having the last couple of seasons, where they get into a game, they get behind, they have to play catch up, and then it makes them a one-dimensional team where they're just throwing the ball, and then it causes, unfortunately, Coach Prime and the coaching staff to get away from running the ball because you got to make up for lost time and the clock is counting down. And this is the sort of trick bag that I don't want to see CU in this year, especially when you have coaches like Marshall Faulk, who is now in charge of coaching and managing the running backs. Let Coach Faulk work his magic on this team. We've got to stick to the running game. We got to give it a chance. But I recognize that when you're playing catch up, it causes you to get away from a game plan such as running the ball more. They've got to figure out how they're going to overcome these things that become situations that are adverse. Let's continue.
Anything. I think we had success running the ball at times as well, but we missed a few plays that we should have hit. I think you all saw that. But overall, man, you got to give them credit. They coached a heck of a game. They played a heck of a game. The quarterback started off horribly, but he picked it right back up and did his thing, man. So hats off to him. He led his team to a victory. I think our special teams, as I told you, would be special. I think they didn't get a kickoff return. Mata was Mata. We punted the ball well as well. So special teams.
I do want to give the special teams a big up dap. Let me give him a clap up. He's right. If I'm not mistaken, they tied the game up, I believe, 10-10 off of I think originally off of Mata kicking a 42-yard field goal. And then that's when Georgia Tech got the ball and marched down the field and kicked their field goal before halftime, making it 13-10. I didn't like that, but Mata did a good job last night punting the ball. There was one play where it looked like it wasn't going to go in, and it bounced in somehow. The special teams didn't give up a touchdown. They didn't allow Georgia Tech to run rucksack over their special teams, and Coach Prime is correct. Let's continue.
We're special, but we got to do a better job offensively and defensively.
Mm-hmm.
And I will take the onus on that. We will do better next week. Let's go.
Hi, Coach. Nikki Edwards, Yahoo Sports. You mentioned their quarterback, 156 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
What was so challenging about containing him and minimizing his dual threat ability?
Opportunity. He had a tremendous amount of opportunities, and sooner or later, you keep going to the well, something's going to happen, and they were committed to running their quarterback and making it happen. They were truly committed to that. We had some tremendous stops as well, but they kept going and going and going. I mean, I think we were tired and exhausted, whatever, and we should be, much as we trained on that last run, because we just didn't look like we normally look the whole entire game defensively.
So it sounds like Coach Prime is saying that the team got tired near the end. It appears like he's saying that. I don't want to put words in his mouth. And he said something that really stood out to me is that Georgia Tech was committed to running the ball with their quarterback. And I'm going to say it again. I know you're tired of me saying this. CU is going to have to be just as committed to running the ball as well. And this is why you're going to hear Coach Prime in just a few minutes say that he felt that Salter, in his opinion, he felt like he wanted Salter to run the ball maybe just a little bit more like he did right here on this play right there, and he looked good on this play. Let's go back to it.
Hey, Coach, good to see you. You mentioned at the top of your statement there about the 3 early turnovers and not being able to convert.
Yeah.
What do you think kind of led to the inability to convert on those turnovers offensively?
Timing, personnel, what we're trying to do. We just got to do a better job. We got to do a better job of making it happen. We got to do a better job making it happen. I'm not going to sit up here and, I'm not an excuse guy whatsoever, and I'm not going to say what I really want to say either. So, but we got to do a better job of making it happen.
Right. That's right, Coach.
Hi, Coach. What was kind of your main takeaway from Caden Salter's performance tonight?
Caden Salter.
Caden played well. A couple of times I think he should have ran.
See?
And
right there.
He threw. I don't want him to prove to us that he could throw the ball. We know he can throw the ball. We wanted you because he's a dual threat, and we want him to be a dual threat. But I don't think we lost the game because of Caden Salter.
No, that's not why they lost. That's right,
he
Coach.
He put us in a situation to win. My man.
Exactly. Caden Salter did not, Salter, to be correct, is not the reason why they lost this game last night. Let me put him up here again. No, it was not his play. I think that for a guy coming from Liberty, that Caden Salter did a hell of a job last night when he had to run, given the situation. Angel Eyes, how you doing, sister? Thank you for being here. I think that he's not the reason. I think there were some breakdowns in other areas of the game that they're going to have to improve, such as you can't let a quarterback run all over you. You can't give up big runs like that. You've got to contain quarterback. You got to contain running backs. And they've got to figure out a way to get the rust out of the offense and get it going early on and quickly get the offensive going. And the tempo has to be the running game, as I said before, but they've got a number of receivers and running backs like Amarion Miller, Draylon Miller, who can do it all. He can play behind the backfield like a running back. He can play receiver. They've got to get these guys more involved. They've got to get the new tight end, Zach, involved. They've got to get them more involved. And I think Caden Salter will learn a lesson from his experience last night for his first game in big-time college football. So we got to be patient with him, but we also have expectations too. And we got to be realistic with our expectations for the young man. They have to be realistic expectations given the circumstances, because the defense is going to have to do what they can to shore up and stop teams from running on them in that manner. And that was the hard part about watching last night's loss, because it wasn't like they got, I said it again, it wasn't like CU got blown out last night. It wasn't like they completely got outclassed. It's that there were mental mistakes that were made. Let's go to the leader of this football team. No doubt a man who I have a lot of respect for. He said that there were some mental mistakes that were made last night that he wants to clean up on the offensive line. You see them right there. And he spoke to it like a leader. And I want you all to hear exactly what he had to say. So let's go to their press conference. In this part of the press conference, a small little clip, you're going to have Caden Salter, and you're going to have Jordan Seaton, a man who I think is ready-made for the NFL. He's only going to get better. And this attitude that he took, or to me, a positive attitude, because attitude reflects leadership. And if the leader of the team, such as Jordan Seaton as a leader, early on in his career, in his sophomore year, he's already seen as a leader in CU, that if he's got the right attitude, everybody will follow. And so let me let you hear it right now. Check this out.
Your first start here, how did you feel like things went? Obviously, not getting a chance to tie the game there at the end, I'm sure is disappointing, but overall, you guys tied the game there in the fourth quarter. What did you like about your performance, and what did you feel like you can improve on?
I mean, there's always room to improve on throughout the game. You know, really my first P4 big-time game out here in Folsom Stadium, but I feel like I went out there and I tried to do the best that I can do. I went out there and I executed the plays that Coach wanted me to execute, but it was still room for improvement out there with just the way the offense connect and run things on game day. It's we just got to go out there and we just got to be better. Practice how we play. It starts at practice. We got to start practicing better and execute and bring it all to the game.
Jordan, obviously, game one, there's things to improve on after this, but overall, new look offensive line. You guys ran the ball better than you had last year. Did you like what you guys did as an offensive line tonight?
As far as the O-line, I did like what we did today. Again, there's stuff that we got to fix on, especially red zone. We can't have a free guy coming through that gap on the backside.
Right. That's what they were saying last night, that even though I'm saying that I want to see them run the ball more, get the hands in the talent, get the ball in the hands of their talent, compared to other seasons that it seemed that their offensive line was oriented to opening up holes, because there were times when you had people, great players like the young man right here, Micah Welsh, who made some plays, got in between the interior of the defensive line of the opponent, went up the middle, went to the outside, made some plays. This young man made some plays. Definitely, that's Taylor. Price made some plays. That is a reflection of the offensive line, improvements in the offensive line, because people had that question, can they open up holes? Well, they can. And remember, this is just the first game of the season. They're going to get better. They're going to get better, and they're going to improve the technique.
But what I do like is little things, It's mental mistake here, mental mistake there.
See?
Those can be
Mental
fixed
mistakes.
easily. So, 24-hour rule, forget about it and go back to work. We got practice tomorrow, so we're going to get to it.
All right. So they're going to be practicing on Sunday. They're going to get to it tomorrow. They're going to look. I'm pretty sure they're looking at the video. They're looking at the mistakes. They're taking notes of where they need to adjust. Because football is a game of adjustments. It's a game of inches, but it's also a game of adjustment, everybody. And whichever team is more prepared to make those adjustments, to audible out of plays and recognize mistakes very quickly, and try to make up for shortcomings in what you did the last play. Whatever team has the shortest memory, let's say you make some mistakes and then you realize, I'm going to forget about that play. The next play, I'm going to make the play. That's what you need in a football team that has a short memory and can move on to the next play and not be traumatized by the mistakes that they made in the previous play, to stay focused and improve on what you're doing. Because as you see on this football field right here, football is a game of inches, y'all. I want to thank you for watching the program tonight. I want to say once again, thank you for watching. Like and comment and subscribe, everybody. I want to go over something else before I go today, before I end this. I appreciate everybody. It's a Saturday night. I hope you're enjoying time with your family. And thank you for spending time coming over to this channel and supporting me tonight. But I want to say something. Don't underestimate this offensive line, okay? This is Larry Johnson. I'm going to say this again. I'm going to give a roll call. Don't underestimate the center, Miguel. Don't underestimate Xavier Hill, who's playing left guard, who came over from Memphis. Of course, you don't underestimate the man, Jordan Seaton. Don't underestimate this young man here, Chrysler, who originally came over from the Illini, okay? Do not underestimate what these young men can bring to the table with improvement. Obviously, they're going to have to improve throughout the course of the college season. Don't underestimate what brother Marshall Faulk brings to the running back room. Don't underestimate what Byron Leftwich brings as a quarterback coach. Don't underestimate, Pat. Now, I want Pat. My one criticism of Pat is that I want him to open a damn offensive playbook a little bit more. And you did hear them say last night that it appeared that Coach Pat, the offensive coordinator, seemed to have a lot of confidence with the quarterback, Salter, that he kind of, you could tell he was letting Salter let it rip a few times last night. And that's a good thing. We saw, even though they lost, we saw glimpses and little pieces that the defense is going to be coming together. I think the defense is another strength of this football team because you have a lot of guys who have come back from last year's team with the addition of new guys that have come in from the transfer portal as well as high school. I think Robert Livingston can look at the videotape and can look at some positives, even though they allowed Georgia Tech's running quarterback, damn it, he damn near ran like a damn running back last night, even though they allowed Georgia Tech's quarterback to get 3 rushing touchdowns, which should have never, you can't let that happen. That cannot continue to happen. And I know that's an area that they're going to have to clean up, most no doubt. But even with the negative things that happened last night, there are some things for Coach Livingston, Robert Livingston, to tip his hat to and say, okay, this is where the defense has made some improvements from last year. This is the area that we're going to have to try to shore up and attack. And I have no doubt that they can do it. This is a different team. And Coach Prime said himself that what's different about this year's team than the teams that had the superstars on it is that they are more of a complete team. And that's how you win games, when you can play as a complete team. And they're going to have to keep working at this as much as possible, everybody. Let me go. There may be something else that I want to show you that I want to go over. So before I get out of here, let me go over some other stats here. Let me see if there's any stats that I did not read, that I not go over. No, I pretty much went over most of the stats from last night's game. I'm really impressed with DJ McKinney last night coming up with the interception. I want to see him be more aggressive. I want to see him really continue to stand out. The young man who stood out last night with getting most of the tackles last night in that game, once again, we got to tip our hats to Reginald Hughes. I thought he was outstanding last night. If he can continue what he's doing, continue to get better week to week, and hopefully they can exercise their demons and win next week, win the next game that they play. We would like to see that. I want to see that. Coach Prime, I definitely know, wants to see that. Let me look and see if there's anything else before I get ready to end the program, the podcast tonight. See if there's anything else that I want to show you or bring up once again before we get out of here. Let me just double check some stats here. And I think I've done it, folks. I think I have pretty much given you my take on this game last night. They ran out. It looked good. They looked good in the old school uniforms, right? Giving respect to the past coaches and the history at CU. I like those gold, I like the gold pants with the white socks and the gold helmets. I think they should wear that uniform a little bit more this year. I like it. I like the look of it. It was a great uniform to wear for the history of the program. And, what can we say? What can we say, everybody? Do me the biggest favor again. This is what we're going to do here. I want you to definitely do something like this. I want you to hit the bell notification and subscribe to this channel. If you want more videos like this, hit the bell notification so that we can continue bringing you this type of exclusive content, top rate content every damn week, everybody. That's how it's going to be. Okay? All right, let's keep doing that, doing it well, everybody. Peace to you. Tell somebody that you love them. It's going to be a great season. I'm very happy that the season has started. Now I've got more to talk about. I've got the videos to produce, and I'm going to repeat this to everybody again. So each week, my goal is to go live after each game to talk about everything that happened, good or bad. But if I don't go live, then the next goal is to go live the next day and to put out the content, okay? And then we'll be obviously examining each player on the team and their progress and how they're playing in each game. And then as bonus on this channel, I will also be putting out NFL content following the alumni of CU. That would be Deion Sanders. That would be your Travis Hunter, your Jimmy Horn, and many other folks out there in the NFL. So whenever they have an outstanding game, they do something very interesting, then I'm going to also produce a video talking about Travis Hunter with the Jacksonville, the Jaguars, talking about Shedeur. Personally, I don't like Shedeur's situation right now with the Cleveland Browns. I've been very honest about that on this channel. I think I would love to see him get out of Cleveland and go somewhere else. I just don't have confidence in Cleveland and the way they've been handling things with Shedeur. The ownership there, the coach, I don't like it. It stinks to high heaven. So Jimmy Horn with the Panthers, when he's doing things, then we got my other man that plays with the Baltimore Ravens. When these guys are doing things in the NFL week to week, that's exciting. I'm going to give you those bonus videos to talk about our alumni, along with the CU content as well. So that's what we're going to do over here. Everybody, tell somebody you love them. Thank you for being a part of what we got going on over here. Let me get on out of here. Y'all take care. And everybody, peace. Peace, everybody, and thank you.
Tell the truth.
You've been listening to Prime Sports Media, everybody. Thank you for your support tonight.